Joining us, Democratic Senator Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada and Republican Senator Ted Budd of North Carolina. Thank you both for being here. I want to talk about the cybersecurity stuff for agriculture, but I do want to start with the government shutdown. I've talked to Democrats and Republicans about getting to the finish line. Senator Cortez Masto, you've voted for the continuing resolution that passed the House to fund the government. Do you see an end in sight?
There has to be. And yes, let me just say, I do think it is important we continue to work across the aisle, find common ground, and there's some of us that are doing that, to say we've got to open the government and we've got to fix this looming healthcare crisis where individuals' premiums, insurance premiums, are going to skyrocket and they're not going to have access to healthcare. But I will be honest with you, Brett, we need leadership and we need engagement from President Trump. I think if President Trump said, let's be constructive, let's figure this out, let's negotiate this, let's come together, I think that would make the difference as well.
Understanding that Obamacare subsidies are going to affect Democrats and Republicans, and it is going to be an issue, and Republicans have acknowledged that. They just want to start after funding the government. Do you see a path here?
It has to be. We open the government, and whether that's November, I mean, I'm very concerned. You've got WIC running out, you've got SNAP benefits running out, end of the month, very beginning of next month. So there has to be an off-ramp at some point. But I say let's open the government, and I want to thank my colleague. Thanks again for having me here. But I want to thank my colleague Catherine for voting with us on this.
But for the politics and for the Republicans who are out there, and they look at the Quinnipiac poll this week, it says Republicans more responsible for the government shutdown, just slightly. But there are some Republicans who think this is a political benefit somehow. Democrats have talked about that too. What do you say to them?
I think this is about being responsible and less about politics. Let's open the government and let's negotiate in good faith.
Let's talk about cybersecurity and where you are, why it's important, and what specifically you're working on together.
In this case, it really is protecting the national security against Communist China. The legislation that we have worked on together, there's a couple of them. One of them is to ensure that as the Department of Defense puts its report out, monitoring what actual emerging technologies or biotechnology or activities that Communist China is engaging in, that report is done. It comes back to Congress. So we are extending that report about 3 years, and we're expanding it. Emerging technologies, biotechnologies. We want to make sure that Communist China is not buying farmland, right? Particularly land around in Nevada, and this was a concern of mine, around our military installations.
By the way, we have a map of the Chinese-owned farmland. It's expanding. It's not contracting.
That's right. And so we have to be not only understanding what is going on, but we have to stop it. And we have to make sure that we are protecting our national security in this day and age, because as we know, we are watching the war in Ukraine right now. Drone swarms, that's the war of the future, right? This is what we have to be understanding, how to use this technology and how to defend against it and our adversaries.
The legislation would prioritize cybersecurity preparedness by establishing a network of 5 regional agriculture cybersecurity centers to strengthen national security measures to protect the United States food supply. And that's the bottom line, protecting the food supply.
Agriculture is the biggest industry in North Carolina, $110, $112 billion, 40,000 different farms in North Carolina. And we've had significant attacks. And don't think about just the farm. It's the technology as well, because we've become so technologically dependent, even in agriculture, but also include food processing and food distribution.
You all have worked together before, other things. Is it easy or hard in this environment to work together?
Listen, I think there's more of this happening than people in the public realize, the fact that we're working together. Ted and I have another piece of legislation working on is to stop illicit xylazine from being utilized and cut with fentanyl and protecting our law enforcement, making sure they have resources to address this. Again, I am frustrated because I think the American public sees more of the turmoil that is happening in Congress and the acrimony and the partisanship than they do this.
Yeah.
And more of this is happening, but it's just not sexy enough, really, to talk about, right?
Literally, this is why we started this this segment, and more of your colleagues are coming on, and sometimes some strange bedfellows on left and right, but they're working on something together.
Well, drama gets clicks. These things aren't dramatic, but they are why people send us from North Carolina to D.C., and I imagine Nevada to Washington, to get things done that actually make their lives better.
Last thing, do you leave optimistic that you're going to get to a solution on the shutdown within a week, or do you think it's going to last longer?
I think it's probably going to go into the first week in November, but I'm ready today. And thank my colleague for voting 11 times to open the government. But eventually that bill that we're voting on to fund the government, it actually needs modified because the time on that bill is right before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And so I think that becomes increasingly irrelevant.
Last word.
Yeah, and I think the same thing. I think there's an opportunity to get together. We just have to start talking, negotiate, but we can get this done.
Can you get a couple more Democrats to see it like you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.